Welcome into the Kevin Mandeville Show, episode number 3, which comes at you every Tuesday and Thursday live, 12 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. And you can subscribe, kevinmandeville.com/newsletter. Make sure you get every show and update delivered to your inbox. We've got a great list of topics to get to today, so let's dive right in. And I'm going to start off today brewing the rumor mill a little bit here with Outlook web app and media queries. So last Monday, November 26th, in Email Geek Slack, which you should be a part of if you weren't, by the way, check it out. Email Geek Slack, that's where all the cool kids are hanging out. It's where we get everybody talking, connecting, helping each other out with problems. But Christian Robinson had posted something funky was going on with the Outlook web app rendering on Outlook.com and Office 365. And Remy Parmentier, Mark Robbins, and myself, we jumped in to inspect and investigate. And believe it or not, Outlook web app started supporting media queries. Yes, they started supporting media queries. You know, they're really the last major webmail, at least on the webmail side, to not support media queries. And they started to. Unfortunately, though, it was very short-lived. It only lasted for 2 days because on that Wednesday when I started testing again, it stopped supporting them and continued stripping media queries, parsing them out as they always have, which is very disappointing. So Christmas has not come early for us quite yet. They are rolling out the beta version to be the actual true version on the Outlook web app now. So you're seeing this migration take full effect. So I'm wondering if this was a part of it. What the motivations were, that's anybody's best guess. There's been no word from the Litmus Microsoft partnership, and typically they're very late to announce those changes because they want to wait for everybody to roll out. This could be something that was just a mistake, accidental, could be a rogue developer, could be not in the plans or works at all, but hopefully it is. It would be great to see it. It was supporting regular min and max width media queries that you would like to see for basic, responsive behavior to control that. Interestingly enough, it was also supporting the WebKit targeting media query for progressive enhancement we typically like to use in email, especially for me. It's one of my favorite hacks. That would introduce some issues, though, because it still wasn't supporting interactive elements in terms of the CSS. So our progressive enhancement would have to move to @supports should this change take place. At the end of the day, I think it's still good for everybody to be on a WebKit rendering engine. So that would still be a plus. We just have to change how we handle progressive enhancement a little bit. Interestingly enough, though, they are supporting more accessibility as a part of this update. So it's not stripping role equals presentation. So the role attributes, not stripping Araya attributes. So there is some improved accessibility to the rendering engine. Wanted to go over this and just talk about it, mention it to everybody because it seems like there are some changes happening with this new version of Outlook.com and OWA happening. So be on the lookout. If you see rendering change, hopefully this is something in the works that'll happen. It would also be nice too because it would mean that the Outlook mobile app and then the webmail would be on the same sort of WebKit rendering engine. So it would be nice to see some standardization there. And the attribute selector hack still wasn't working, so there's still a way to target that as well. So keep your eyes out. Be on the lookout. Maybe there's something going on here. Maybe not. Maybe it was all just a mistake, but maybe there's hope. Who knows? Speaking of Microsoft and staying with them, they just announced that we got to wish happy trails to Microsoft Edge. It is now building its own Chrome browser to replace Edge. So after 3 years of trying to build up this browser, it is foregoing the effort and sort of giving in. It's going to adopt a new Chromium browser, which is going to be the default on all of Windows 10. And now Microsoft, Windows 10 and whatever future OS is involved, it's an updatable model. So it will be applicable for all of the current instances and then future OSs as well, which is nice. There's a lot of growing frustration inside Microsoft at the Edge's web compatibility issues. And both, businesses, consumers alike have been asking for better. So this is just an interesting note. Obviously, this is something that affects the web more so than anything, but I think it shows a propensity for Microsoft to make positive changes, know when they're wrong, do the right thing for end users and developers alike. So, and looking at it through the lens of email, this could maybe be a good thing in which this helps impact the email rendering at someday. I think it just shows here they're capable of making decisions that will move away from their own proprietary type of rendering or one that is just not what users want, or it has low adoption, which isn't necessarily the case for email. Their email products are a lot more successful, but I think it's just a positive that we could see an all WebKit based rendering engine in Microsoft email clients someday. I think the biggest hurdle to get over will be the desktop. We're obviously seeing their app is good and their webmail, it's easier to update. Obviously, it's going to be the legacy versions of Outlook, which will be harder to change. But I think this shows promise. And, the good news is that with all their desktop software, they are moving to this updatable, app model that Apple's had with Windows 10 and beyond. So hopefully the hope is that change will be a lot easier come the future for these things. So see you at Edge. Hardly knew you. Happy to see you go. Stay here on Microsoft. Again, just a lot of Microsoft news to get to this show. There was a quick thing that I tweeted out about Microsoft is putting ads on the Mail app in Windows 10. So just like you see with Gmail, they were putting ads at the very top of the inbox. And Microsoft's head of communications, once they saw a user tweet about this, went out to say that this was, quote, an experimental feature that was never intended to be tested broadly, and it is being turned off, end quote. So interesting to note that this was being tested in a bunch of different types of accounts, typically the non-Microsoft ones. To me, I don't really think we should get too bent out of shape about this. This is really the price you have to pay if you're a free user of any service. Gmail does this. You can see Microsoft was testing this out. But they did come out, say it was experimental, and it's being turned off. They don't want this to happen. So I thought that was interesting. At the end of the day, I think as long as these email clients, especially the big ones of Gmail and Microsoft, aren't doing anything to disrupt the chronological feed of which we receive our email, that they don't get into anything like SEO for email or different ranking for email, as long as we steer clear of that and we can keep email a clean place for end user control over what gets displayed in their inbox, I think we'll be fine. If there's just an ad or two at the top and that's the price that free users have to pay, you're going to have to live with that, I think. But as long as they're not polluting how email gets received and how it gets displayed, in the order, that would be my biggest worry. It always has been with these free email apps. Still is to this day that something like that might happen, especially since we've seen it happen on the website. But as long as we don't have that, I think we'll be good. All right, we're going to get into some cool new tool sites and a new email client after the break here. But just want to take a quick second to let you know. This show is sponsored by Email Tees. Email Tees is official apparel for email geeks. So you can actually rock your fandom out into the world. Let the world know that you're a true email geek. So I've got my Nickelodeon hat on today, if you've seen, and appropriately, I'm wearing the Are You Afraid of D-Mark shirt of Email Tees. So all you deliverability nerds out there, or 90s kids like myself, just a little fun take, even got the little emblem icon there. But I'm having a ton of fun making these t-shirts designs. If you like this show, please, I'm doing this full time now. I'm independent on just producing content for email. So please buy a shirt. Comes in long sleeves as well. Hoodies, zip up, all those types of clothing, mugs, socks, hats. So please buy some official apparel for Email Geek. I would appreciate your support. And coming this Thursday, December 6th, we're dropping our holiday collection, which is, we're calling it the Jolly Collection. So there's going to be some fun holiday inspired email designs. So check it out at emailtees.com and follow on Twitter and Instagram at emailtees, and subscribe to the newsletter as well. Got a lot of fun campaigns and hacks coming as well. So maybe you come for the t-shirt designs, but you stay for the email hacks. So check it out, Email Tees. All right, this fun tool here is sendtest.email, created by Cosmin, and this is just a nice tool to do just that. You can send a test email to your inbox. So if you're developing your email locally or wherever it may be, you can come here and just send test emails to yourself, to your local account. So you can go into your Gmail, your Outlook account, check it, check the rendering, see how it looks. This is a competitor to PutsMail, putsmail.com, which is owned by Litmus now. This is just a separate way. This version is a little bit easier to send retests because you can just update the code quickly, and it's just a quicker UX to send tests over and over again faster. I would also say that this functionality exists right inside of Litmus Builder. And that is free to send tests as well. So if you want something else, just to let you know, Litmus Builder, you can do a few other things using CSS inlining or partials, a few other automation features. But in terms of if you're just copying and pasting your email from somewhere, this is just a great tool. So wanted to give this a plug. Great free tool for the community. Good job, Cosmin. Appreciate it. Thumbs up to you. Thanks for contributing to the community. So test it out. It works well. It's just a good little way to just send tests to your email, preview what it looks like, and hopefully it helps get you sending your campaigns out quicker. Another free site. So we've seen a lot of inspiration sites pop up, and obviously the most notably is Really Good Emails. This is a new one, Newsletry, newsletry.com. They're billing it as a feedly for newsletters so that you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe to all newsletters. You can just come here for inspiration. What's a little bit unique and different about this is that you can actually create your own account and actually favorite different emails, and everything is tagged as well. So it's tagged with different categories in terms of the different types of email, things like tech, politics, business, news, culture, media, etc. So this is a little bit more of a Pinterest style in the fact that you can create your own account and sort of favorite like things. So again, this is just another great inspiration site. You can suggest newsletters as well, submit them. And yeah, hopefully this just helps you in terms of being inspired and seeing what other things people are doing that are really cool in email design. So check it out, newsletry.com, feedly for newsletters. And then finally today, I want to get to a new email client on the block, a new email app, Stoop, which is a great name. And so Stoop is asking people to quit the newsfeed and embrace the newsletter. And what's really interesting about Stoop is that it's not trying to be this, oh, email is dead or one-on-one communication for email. It's really an email client and an email app geared for content consumption. And so it's actually targeting the curated content and the media content creation aspect of consuming for newsletters, which is very smart and very interesting. I think this is the most unique approach to a new email client, a new email app that I've seen in quite some time. So they're calling it like a podcast app, but for newsletters. So what makes Stoop really interesting is that one, it gives you your own email address. So it'll give you an @stoop.email email address. And you can use that to subscribe to newsletters if you want, if you're out into the wild. But what's really interesting is that they have its own discover section. So they have their own discovery engine in there to browse popular newsletters so that you can go and you can subscribe. And for some of these newsletters, they already have a one-click subscribe integration, which is incredibly seamless when you're in the app and you're just browsing around and you're saying, hey, this looks like an interesting newsletter I would love to look at. Let me just subscribe. It's just one click. You don't have to enter your email address or whatnot. So having this centralized approach to where it can be a hub for content is super interesting for Stoop, and it allows functionality like that. So it gives you that. And then when you look at your subscriptions, it actually groups everything by sender. And so what I love about this is that I'm always mentally, when I'm going through email, deleting stuff or throwing stuff out, but oftentimes I save stuff for later, but I may not get back to it. But sometimes I want to read things from sender specifically. I don't necessarily want to go chronologically. I may want to read certain newsletters together because they come from the same authors, publishers, creators. And this allows you to do that because it groups everything by a sender and it gives you all the newsletters from that sender in that order. So I found that to be an incredibly useful and interesting feature. And, it has all the other features of what you would expect for archiving, deleting, etc. But I just think this is a very interesting and unique approach to email right now, which is geared towards, again, that content consumption, that newsletter consumption. It's a newsletter first email client and app, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think the hardest thing so far has just been trying to get all of my emails onto it, because you got to subscribe, through this app with this new email address, as opposed to, everything that's built up through regular email that I've been using. But very, very interesting. The app is completely free. They do have premium plans coming out in the future. So we'll be able to look out for that. It's coming at, $10 a year, $8 a month for different features. So we'll have to look out to see what those might be. And if you're a publisher, you can submit your newsletter to help get it on the featured side. Right now, it's a lot of popular newsletters, things like Vox, the New York Times, Product Hunt, etc. But so yeah, you can submit if you're a publisher and you want to get in that discovery engine. I've been really enjoying the app so far, so check it out. I would love to know what you think. So good job to Stoop. I actually think it's a promising email app. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Kevin Mandeville Show. Reminders, we go live every Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. So give this video a like and a subscribe if you like it. And, you can get subscribed on YouTube to get notified in real time. And then also kevinmandeville.com/newsletter so that you never miss an episode of the show again. All right, that's been real. We'll see you next time, email geeks.